Hello everyone, it's Mark Berger coming to you again from the 13th floor with another episode of Things to Do Inside when there's a pandemic outside.
Almost gone now.
Almost gone now, yes. Yes, Marita, I think we'll be meeting again soon. Fingers crossed. Anyway, this month we're going to be making the treasure boat. And the treasure boat has been around a long time, since at least 1704. And we know that because there's a pattern book of fabric samples, and there's one fabric pattern that has illustrations of the boats in it. But where it came from before that, we really don't know. It could have been somewhere in Japan or China, but also it could have come from the Dutch sailors and traders that came to Japan before that. And because it has a lot of similarities with work by the later German kindergarten founder Friedrich Fröbel. And let's get started. All right, now the treasure boat is a combination of two different bases. The blintzed base first, and then after that we're going to make a windmill base. So we're going to start first by doing the blintzed base. And since we're going to be doing folds across the paper anyway, I like to do the book folds, and you'll notice I'm doing the book folds with the white side out rather than the colored side. And we're bringing the corners of the paper to the center. And if we open it up, you'll see we have a blintzed base. And now that we've made the blintzed base, we're going to make the windmill base, or as I like to call sometimes, the everything base, because we do everything we can to the square of paper. So we're going to reinforce the diagonals. Okay. Then we're going to make a book fold across this way and across the other way. And next we're going to head ahead and going to make the cabinet folds. That's where we take the outer edges and fold them to the center. And we do it first one way, and then we do the other way. All right, so we've taken the blintzed base and we've divided up into a 4x4 grid. Remember, we keep the flaps up. But now we're going to turn the paper over and we're going to do blintzed bases one more time. Blintzed creases, yes. And you want to be careful here that when you make the creases, you don't tear across these raw edges. Okay, there's the blintzed folds. All right, so let's review what we did. We did diagonal folds both ways. We did book folds both ways, cabinet folds both ways, and then we flipped it over and did blintzed folds. And we've opened them up, and now we need to set the paper into place so that we can fold it up and make a windmill base. So do you see these intersections here, 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 and here? We're going to push those down. And that makes it easier for us to take the sides and fold them in like this. And that's what we call a double canoe base. If we wanted the windmill base, we just take these two flaps and fold them over. That's the windmill base. But we're going to make it back into the double canoe base. And now this is important. We're going to take that and flip it over to the other side. And this is what it looks like. We have a big square and triangles sticking out at the end. Now we're going to take this edge and do cabinet folds and fold them to the center. Now there's a lot of paper here, so you want to be careful to kind of roll the paper to the center and give it a good crease. So this is what it looks like. And then we're going to rotate it around and do that again. Okay. So now we're going to flip the paper over again, and we're going to open these little canoes on the side, and we're going to take the paper, this point right here, and we're going to swing it down and flatten it out and flatten everything else out there so it lies down nicely. And then we'll do that with the other end. And that's what it looks like. And now we're going to take these triangles here, like that, and we're going to pull out all the paper. Now you want to be careful because the paper likes to catch in all these folds, and it's easy to tear the paper. So kind of pull it out gently, and then it looks like this. So that's 1/2. And that's the second half. Okay. We're also going to take these two flaps and fold them over like so and like so. And now we're going to flip the whole model over, okay? And one end we're going to make into the sail part, okay? And the other end is going to be the end of the boat. So we fold these over like so and so. Okay. You'll notice that the paper sometimes curves around the corner. Don't worry about that. When we open up the model, it will go away. All right, so now we're going to make the front part with the sails. And we're going to fold this over, but we're going to pick this up so that the paper underneath can fold. And we're going to fold that paper to the center line on both port and starboard side. Okay, and now we're going to make the end of the boat. So we're going to fold this in, and then we're going to fold this flap over, okay, and then we're going to fold this over again, but we're going to fold it back. And it does help to reinforce these creases. All right, so now we're going to take the model and through the longitudinal edge, we're going to fold it in half. And we want to make sure we can keep everything in order. So that's the model so far. Now this is the time when we really have to be careful because we're going to be pulling out all this paper so that it becomes three-dimensional. And you'll notice that the paper that I sent you in the mail is what we know as craft paper. Thank you, Marita. And craft paper holds up well to the kinds of folds that we're doing. Craft paper was invented by a German scientist, and he called it Kraftpapier, which, Marita, do you happen to know what that means?
Strength. Kraft means strength.
Yes, so that's strong paper, and it works well with this model. But kami works out nice if you don't try to use too large of a sheet. Okay, here's the tricky part. Now we're going to pull this out, and you notice I'm letting this pivot around like so, you see? So we're letting the sail, I'm going to reinforce that crease. So we're letting the sail pop up, okay? And we're going to pull it out of that much. And now we're going to go to the end. I think they call that the stern, don't they? Yes. So we're pulling that out, okay? And now we're ready to work on the bottom. And this is something that no one has ever taught me. I just kind of figured out that it looks the best when you let this bottom open out to kind of a barrel shape. Okay? And then we also take the flaps on the side and pull them out horizontally. And that gives the boat a lot of stability. And they float very nicely in water. And if you have a pool of water and you want to be a little festive, why, you can make a boat a little bigger, large enough to hold a tea candle, or here's an electric tea candle. Okay. And that way you get a nice effect. If you're doing it outside, you might want to use a regular tea candle, because I don't think you want all your LED candles to end up at the bottom of the pool eventually. So now we're going to go by Cherry Creek, and we'll take a look and see them in action. And here we are at the creek.